Hello, my name's Jim Jordan, and the title of this video is Getting the Most from Your CRM, or Customer Relationship Management Software. Sales is a relationship business, and your CRM helps you manage that relationship. So let's dive right into this and talk a little bit about what's going on and what you will learn in this session. First of all, you'll learn how to choose a CRM. You'll learn steps to using your CRM. You'll learn how to prepare your database. You'll learn how to mine your databases, which is where you make your money, is in mining. And then you'll learn a little bit about care and feeding of your database. So these are the things that you will learn during this section. A lot of people ask me, what is the best CRM? Well, the best CRM is one that you will use, because if you don't use your CRM, it's a waste of time and money. So you must use it for it to be any good to you. Second, you want to be able to store basic contact information for your clients and prospects, things like their name, address, phone number, email, etc. You want to have the ability to record a note concerning contact results, so that when you contact someone, sphere of influence or in your database, you can write a note about what happened during that contact and what you're going to do next. So you need the ability to write a note, and you need the ability to schedule a follow-up activity and a reminder so that you don't forget to do your follow-up. You also need to be able to categorize and sort your contacts into different groups. And this can help you in terms of reaching out to those particular contacts. And it would help if there's some form of automated follow-up, drip email campaign, or maybe an e-newsletter that can automatically be sent out to your database. That is very helpful as well in terms of a customer relationship management software. So let's talk about steps to using your CRM. The first step is to upload a list of your clients or prospects. And typically that's going to be a CSV or a comma separated value spreadsheet, or you can hand enter each prospect. So if you already have your database in another CRM, or you have your database in a spreadsheet, it's very easy to save that spreadsheet as a comma separated values, or to export from a CRM to a new CRM using a comma separated value spreadsheet. So otherwise, just enter them one at a time and build your database that way. You want to categorize your list. So for example, give you some ideas of some categories. A category, those are clients who have purchased or referred someone who has purchased. So the A category would be people that have actually done business with you and you've actually earned some level of income from that client. Your B category might be people that you know and who know you, and they know what you do. So these are people that you could call up and they know who you are. They know that you're a realtor. You might even be able to have lunch with them. So these are people you know fairly well. And then there's the C category. And these are people that you've met, prospects, but you don't really know them all that well. And leads would go in this category. So leads are typically in your C category. Now let's talk about preparing your database to use it. First of all, you want to make sure that you have complete contact information: name, address, phone number, email, as much information as you have about your contact. Add any birthdays or anniversary dates that you may have a record of. We all typically know when our friends' birthdays are, and they're probably going to be part of this database list, and so we could add their birthdays in. Also, you can find out birthdays on things like social media, like Facebook, things of that sort. And then you want to reach out to your database to try and fill in any missing information that you have. So if you have a phone number and no email, you might try to get their email. Or if you have an email and no phone number, you might try to get their phone number, things of that sort. And for each record or each contact in your database, you want to schedule a first activity with each one of those contacts. Could be an in-person meeting, it might be an email, might be a mail, it might be phone call, text, social media interaction. You can determine what that activity is, but every contact in your database should have an activity scheduled to be performed. And set a reminder for each activity to alert you when to perform that activity. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to reach out to your entire database all at once. So you might schedule 5 contacts for today, 5 for tomorrow, 5 for the next day, and 5 for the day after until you go all the way through your database. So, but you do want, for every contact in your database, you want there to be an activity scheduled for that contact. Now, also, you want to determine the interval of contact for each category. So am I going to reach out to my A people, my A category? Am I going to reach out to them weekly, monthly? How often? What about B? What about C? How often am I going to reach out to people that I don't know very well? Maybe I only send them a monthly e-newsletter. Maybe I reach out to them once every 6 months. That's something for you to determine what interval that you want to use. And you want to schedule any automated follow-up, drip emails or campaigns that you may have that you want to send out to them. So for instance, you could schedule them for an e-newsletter. And you want to determine what type of activity works best for you. Do you work better in person or over the phone? So the kind of activity that you prefer is what you're going to be heavy on in your follow-up activity with your different contacts in your database. So let's take a look here at just some of the basic things that you want to be involved with in your database. The first thing that you're going to do with your database is you're going to make a contact, okay? So you're going to contact someone in your database. And that contact might be by phone, might be an in-person meeting, might be an email, but some way you're going to reach out to them and contact them. And then there's going to be a result from that contact, something that you talked about, some interaction that you had with them. So from your contact, you're going to go down here and you're going to make a new note, okay? So you're going to make a note about what happened during that contact. And then from there, you're going to schedule a follow-up. So this is what the next activity is going to be. And keep in mind, every time you want to have a next activity. And then once you schedule that activity, then you're going to schedule a reminder. And that will remind you when you need to do that activity. And then when that date comes up, you're going to come over here. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to read the note that you made before. So down here, you made a note and you're going to read that note. So you read the prior note before you make contact. So you're going to read the prior note, you're going to make contact with them, and then you're going to make a new note about what happened on that contact. You're going to schedule a follow-up, and you're going to schedule a reminder so that you don't forget to do that follow-up. And then you're going to read the prior note and contact. So as you go through this process, you can see that it's just a big circle. You're just going to continue to move around this circle, reading a prior note, making contact, making a new note, scheduling a follow-up, scheduling a reminder, read the prior note, make a contact, and so on. So you just keep on doing this, and that's how you mine your database. That's how your database will produce income for you. If you don't do this, then your database will be unlikely to produce income for you. So this is one of the key elements in making your database pay off and produce income for your business. So let's get rid of some of these markings on here. Now we want to talk about the care and feeding of your database and how that's going to work. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to try to add new contacts to your database on a daily basis. This is not something that you do one time, set up your database and you never add anything to it. You want to try to add new contacts to your database on a daily basis. Review your database first thing in the morning and last thing in the afternoon or evening, just as a minimum. You want to spend as much time with your database as you can, because that's where the gold comes from for your business. So at least review your database a couple of times a day minimum. Now, here's your goal in working with your database. You want to move your C contacts, those people that you determined are C's, and you want to move those to B's. You want those to be B's. And then you want to convert your B's, which are people that know you, to people who spend money with you by either giving you a referral that buys or sells real estate, or by buying or selling real estate themselves. So that's your goal, is to progress your leads, progress your contacts through the different categories that you've established for them. And you want to purge your database of non-responsive contacts. There's no reason to keep trying to reach out to people that aren't interested in contacting you. So if they don't return your phone call, they don't respond to your text, they don't respond to your email, then just take them out of your database. There's no reason to waste time trying to continue to follow up with them. And remember, your database is the biggest asset in your business. If you're going to sell your business in the future, your database, your personal database, is going to be the biggest asset that you have to sell. That is what someone else might be interested in purchasing from you. So your database is your asset, the asset of your business. And so keep that in mind as you're spending this time working with your database. Now, here's what you know now. First of all, you know how to choose a CRM. You know how to set it up. You know how to mine your database for business, and you know how to grow your database into a business asset. So let's take a look at a real life example. What we're going to do is we're going to look at using an actual CRM database. I'm going to show you what it looks like. We'll be using the Income CRM as an example. Now, you do not have to use the Income CRM. You can use any CRM that you're comfortable with. So it does not have to be the Income CRM. And by the way, you do need to establish a habit of using your CRM. So you need to be in there on a daily basis, and that needs to be a habit that you form. And forming a habit requires discipline. So it's just like working out or trying to lose weight. You need to discipline yourself first, and then you'll build the habit of working with your database. So that's what we're talking about here in terms of your database. So let's take a look at a real life example. I'm going to log into my database here. And if you're using the income database, then you log in on the back end of your website to get to it. So you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and log in. And so I'm going to log in here. Okay, so I'm logging into my database. And most databases, the first thing that you're going to see is a dashboard, which will show you some of the activities that you're involved with on a daily basis. So let's take a look at this particular dashboard and see what kind of information that is part of this dashboard. Okay, so first of all, with the income CRM, it tells you your total number of leads or total number of contacts that you have in your database. The second thing it shows you is incomplete follow-up. So it tells you how many follow-ups you have to do. And then it tells you the total number of events that you've scheduled. And it gives you any alerts that you've set for that day. And these alerts are driven by your calendar. So this would tell you that if you have any calendar alerts, and of course the calendar is part of your database. So let's take a look at the incomplete follow-ups, because this is usually where you're going to start in your database. Okay, so if I click on this, it's going to take me to a different screen, and it's going to show me what I have due. Okay, so I have 3 contacts that are overdue right here. So these are overdue. I have 1 contact scheduled for today. I have 2 contacts scheduled for tomorrow. And then this lists all my contacts down here. So it shows me what I need to do for the day. So obviously I want to start with my overdue contacts because I needed to contact them as of yesterday. So when I take a look at a contact, the first thing I'm going to do is click on that contact and go and look at their contact record. And this contact record in the income database shows you some basic information, gives you their phone number, their email address, and things of that sort. Special occasions, so you can glance at this to see if there's any special occasions coming up that you need to make a note of. And then here's your notes, okay, from prior contacts. So the last time I contacted them, they have their pre-approval and are ready to look at houses. Their daughter is graduating from high school in May, and that would be their target date for moving. Okay, so my follow-up here, okay, then after reading that note, my follow-up is to, which was due, when I look on here, I see my follow-ups that haven't been completed yet, which say no on here. So here's my follow-ups. And so my most recent no was on the 12th, and that was to call to discuss some information with them using Ford, family, occupation, recreation, and desires. And so I need to make that call. So I pick up the phone and call them, and I ask them how their search is going, maybe ask how the daughter is doing, and are they still on schedule. After that conversation with them, then I come to the database here. And by the way, I have their phone number right here, so it makes it easy to call them. So I come in here to my database, and I complete that activity. Okay, I make a new note about what we talked about. Okay, so maybe the result of that is that they're on track and they want to start looking at houses. So I add that note. So it reminds me on this date, that's what we talked about. And then I look to see if I need to schedule another follow-up. Well, I already have one scheduled here for today and one for tomorrow. So I've already got sufficient follow-up schedule. But if I didn't have a follow-up schedule, so for instance, if these had all been completed, okay, so I don't have a follow-up for tomorrow, okay, then what I would want to do is go in here and add a follow-up. Okay, so I could add a follow-up, and it gives me some choices here. I can do a follow-up today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or I can choose a day from a calendar. So let's say maybe I'm going to do a follow-up on Tuesday, which isn't on the list above. So I click that, it chooses a date for me. I can add in a time of day that I want to do that, or it defaults to the current time of day as when you might do that. And then I'm going to select how I'm going to contact them. Am I going to send them an email, call, meet, mail? So maybe I'm going to send them an email this time. I want to remind myself to send them an email. So what date do I want to remind myself? Well, maybe I want to remind myself on the 19th, but I want to do it early in the morning. So I might schedule at 8 o'clock that I want to do my email. And so here's my email. It's going to be email to see if they have seen any listings they would like to see. Okay, so now I have a new follow-up activity. I click the save button, and now on that date, I will be reminded of that follow-up activity. Then I can go back to my dashboard and I can go to my incomplete follow-ups, and I can see if I have anything else that's right there. And for whatever reason, it's not returning me to my database. I think maybe I hit the wrong button here. Get this out of the way here. Yeah. All right, here we go. And that took me back to my follow-ups. And so now I see that I have one more incomplete follow-up. And by the way, you can make quite a bit of notes as to what you want to do. And and I have a follow-up for tomorrow. And then in the future, I have other follow-ups that are scheduled down here. So that's how you use your database. I also want to show you how to add somebody to your database. So in this particular database, the lead book is where all of your lists of all your clients are located. And this is also where you would go to add a new contact. So if you just hit the add new button, it's going to pull up the form for you to add a new prospect. You can either indicate that they're a prospect or a client, depending on what their status is. And then it does require that you have a first name, a lead status, and an email. Bare minimum, add somebody to your database. But let's say you have their first name, their last name, you would enter that information in. You can assign the lead to yourself. Lead status could be either unclear, cold, warm, hot. You determine what the lead status is, put in their email. By the way, it will alert you if you have duplicate emails in your database because it won't let you save a duplicate email. So if you try to enter somebody in with the same email, it will all let you know, it'll alert you that you already have that contact in your database. And of course, you can record their phone number if they have a landline phone, and of course, their cell phone. If they have a fax, you could record that, their address, their city, state, zip. If they work for a company, you can record their company name there. This is a section here right here, this particular section shows you some things that they might be interested in purchasing, as far as the area they're looking at, the property type, the price range that they're looking for, square footage, number of beds, number of baths, things of that sort. And then you have birthdays. So you can record their birthday here, and it will remind you of when their birthday occurs. And you can also, at this stage, what you can do is you can also record other dates like anniversary dates. So for instance, if you click over here, you'll see a drop down that shows you have a purchase anniversary, you could record that date, sale anniversary, you could record that date, wedding anniversary. And so you can put these dates in, and you can add other dates in there as well, anniversary dates. And then the final thing that you want to do is you want to record what the status is. So for instance, down here, let's say that they are a C list that I'm putting in. Okay, so I might just go down here and check C list. But they can also be in more than one category. So let's say maybe they're renting right now. So I could add them as a renter. Let's say that they're a buyer, not a seller, since they're renting. So I could put them in the buyer category as well. So someone can be in more than one category. They don't have to be in the same category. And then if you edit them later on, you can move them to new categories by just simply checking that category. And then the final thing that you have available to you is a user submission. And this is where you can actually type any information about this client that you want to highlight as a permanent kind of record. Now, this is not for your notes of your individual contacts, but this is something that is important to know about this person, that maybe sets them apart from someone else. That will give you an example of how to use the INCOM database and how to go about using a real database. And I would do this on at least twice a day basis. I would come in, I would go to my dashboard, and I would spend the time to try to determine on my dashboard what my follow-ups, my next follow-ups are, and make sure that I don't have anything overdue, that I've completed everything, and that I have everything done for today. And then I look at, for tomorrow, these are some things that I might need to do. So this will keep me on track to mining my database and generating revenue from my database. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any specific questions about using a CRM, or you'd like information about particular CRMs that are good CRMs, just let me know. Just reach out to me, and I will be glad to help you out in that particular area. So again, thanks for listening to the video.